All right. So, as you may have guessed, this is Joaquin Niemann right here hitting an iron shot. Video courtesy of one of my friends caddying on the PGA Tour, Michael Brennan. Michael's a great player in his own right. I asked him to send me some videos of some tour players so I could help you all on YouTube. And this is going to be the reason for this particular video is to talk about a couple things. So just as you're aware in politics, etc., when someone has a certain agenda, they will highlight certain things that are going on in the world to make their agenda look like they're supposed to look. Golf instructors do the same thing. Now, I am not Joaquin Niemann's coach. I do not know Joaquin Niemann's coach. I don't know what they work on. And this is typically the case for a lot of instructors out there. They don't really know what these players are working on. They've never spoken to their coaches, but they just start drawing conclusions and assumptions. Okay, so if I were to ask Joaquin Niemann, what are you thinking about in your golf swing? That would be a valuable piece of information that you, the general public watching YouTube videos, would like to know. So maybe I'll figure out how to do that. But what this video is about is just to point out a few things. Now you can see what you want to see. So for example, in Joaquin's swing, he has a very pronounced lowering of his head, right? So if you're a leg person and you like to coach on legs, so we'll just focus on legs, you would go, oh, look at how Joaquin Niemann transfers his weight into his right heel. You can actually see here how the right toe kind of bends and flexes upward. And from that flex position, we can draw the conclusion that his weight is in his heel. As he then transitions into the downswing, you can kind of see how he squats and levels himself, and his knees have actually lowered a little bit. You can see each knee drop just a tiny little bit. And then as he rotates into the follow-through side, you can see how he pushes into the ground, and you can see the flex right here in his quad of his left leg, and how much torque and rotation, etc., is going on there. But as a player myself, I can tell you, I'm not thinking about those things when I'm trying to hit a ball. I'm trying to get the club face square, and I'm trying to send the ball exactly where I need to send it. Now, for whatever reason, he's developed all these different things in his swing, right? So let's say you're a leg person, and that's what you're focused on. So there's your leg action. Boom, right? Now, let's say you're a right-hand person. Okay, so here we go. Let's focus on his right hand. So as he takes the club away, he pulls the club away with his right hand. He gets his right arm bending, cocking the club back into the top of the backswing, loading it up. As he comes down, he's lowering his right elbow. And right here, he's stored up all this energy in his hands because he's focused on his right arm. He gets his right elbow tucked in right here, and then wham, he releases it. And just to put emphasis, let's point out his trigger finger right here. You can actually see the white of his knuckles coming through in the video. There's so much pressure, force in his knuckle in that wrist joint as he's going through. And then as he extends right here again, you can kind of see how this knuckle has a lot of pressure in it, and you can see the forearms, the muscles bulging in his forearms, so that's all that pressure going through that right hand. And then as he exits, he gets to the top of his swing, and you can kind of see right here how his hands have crisscrossed and rolled over, so he must be firing his right hand through the ball. Okay, so let's say that you're a right-hand person. There you go, right? So now let's go back and let's identify shoulders, right? So let's say you're a proponent of using your shoulders. So you say, okay, well, here's the beginning of his swing. Look at where his shoulders are at the beginning of address. And he's obviously using his core and his shoulder turns. So right here, I'm going to put a circle right there, right in the center of his body. These are his abdominal muscles. He's lean but very strong. He's doing kind of an oblique side crunch right here. He's turned all the way around. His shoulders are now at a 90-degree position. So draw another line over here past 90 degrees. Look at how much he twists his body and torques his shoulders against the firm foundation of his hips, right? So then in the shoulder motion, he begins his downswing. You can kind of see how he kind of uncoils, and all of that torque that's going on in his core is unloading that energy in order. And as he kind of punches through like a boxer doing an uppercut punch, you can kind of see how his arm here is connected to his ribs, and as he comes through, it's all core driven and accelerated and coming up through, right? So that's what somebody who's focusing on core would say, right? And shoulders. And then look at that big extension. He's turned all the way through. His shoulders have come all the way beyond, so he must be torquing and using his core and his shoulder rotation, right? So let's pick a different one. So let's go back here and we'll say, okay, now it's left arm. So let's say you're left-handed. You think everything's done with the left hand. So, okay, let's focus on here. Okay, so you can see the strength of his left hand. You can see the logo of his glove is turned up. This is so that as he takes the club back, he can load it onto that left thumb. So what he's doing here in his backswing is he's extending his left arm. Push, 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 low and slow. Push, 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 low and slow, low and slow, low and slow. So as you can see, here, that left arm is just pushing away and driving the club away, pushing in this direction. Okay, so then as he begins to go up in his backswing, you can kind of see how he loads up, pushes that left hand super high. And here's what I'm talking about. Once it's super high, he's loaded up on that left thumb and he's getting ready to pull, right? Because you're a left-handed person, a left-handed instructor, or you're trying to point out left-handedness or lead hand. So you're like, okay, see how he loads up in that left arm and he creates a little bend in his left elbow and he gets to the top of his swing, and then right here he begins to unload, and you can see if we focus on that left shoulder how much pressure and torque is going in there. And you can see here that the energy of the club, you can see the shaft is actually bowing and flexing in this direction. So all the energy is coming out of this arm over here. It's going up into the club, except the heaviness of the club head is lagging behind, creating this trailing of energy as the athlete pulls from the left shoulder and continues to rotate through that left side and pull. And here's zoom in. Here's a little weaker grip position. So with this position here, now his hand has to return back to address, the same location it was at the beginning. So as he drives through his left arm, we can draw another line here. We're like, oh, look at how powerful the left arm moves and pulls and drags everything through there. You can just see the muscles of his bicep flexing right here. So as he's going through, that's where all the focus of the energy comes from. And then as he extends through the ball and into impact, let's focus on this again. Okay, look at the height that his left shoulder reaches. And then as he extends, look how far behind his arm gets, and he's all the way back here. So, right, so this is all garbage. So if you've listened to this video long enough, I can point out absolutely anything and whatever I want. Okay, whatever I, the instructor, think is going on. And some of them may be valid. Who knows? I haven't talked to Joaquin Neiman. I haven't talked to his coach. I don't know what it is that he's working on. But the problem is that golf instructors around the world and internet swing gurus and YouTubers and people that are trying to push out a bunch of content, they just are pushing their particular agenda, right? Now, I may or may not be any different. I'm doing videos. I'm doing this video. But I'm not doing it to point out what instructors are either doing right or wrong. It's really not about the instructor. This video is for you, the student, the viewer of my content, because what I'm trying to show you is that if you just play this video at regular speed, you see everything you really need to see. Watch again. Right? There's an acceleration of the club. There's not a hesitation. He's not, doing a chop and stop. Right? There's an acceleration. The club head is moving extremely fast. Right? He's got a foresight monitor here. This iron head looks like it's probably about maybe a 6-iron, 5-iron loft, which means he's swinging at 100 miles an hour. Right? All these tour players are swinging 6s and 7s, and they're all swinging at close to 100 miles an hour, between 90 and 100 on a 7, 6, or 5-iron. You can just pick any club. They're all swinging at close to 100. Okay, now the club head is moving 100. And what you should be noticing in this athlete's move is how efficient that is. It's moving 100 miles an hour. He's probably hitting it 220 yards at sea level, 250 yards almost anywhere else, if it is a 5-iron. And then the way his body moves and the way he turns into the backswing and the way he comes through, everything's all synced up, right? Now, he's probably been doing this since he was a little kid. So if you're picking up the game and you're watching this channel and you're trying to figure out what you're supposed to be doing, just give yourself a break. A lot of these athletes have been playing golf basically since they could walk. I've been swinging a club since I could walk, and I've tried to get better and better and better in my career, so I've tried every possible way to figure out how to play my best golf. And I can tell you that some of the things I've done have led me down a really bad path and sidelined me or caused me to get injured. So what I want you to pay attention to are the two things that I always funnel all of my instruction through. Number one, is this going to prevent injury? Number two, does it hold up under pressure? So the only concern I would have for Joaquin is just really how much he drops his head and creates that spine, that spine tilt over the ball. Right? He clearly drops his head an enormous distance. Now, as power production goes, that's one way he's able to create power. If I put a line at the top of his head, he gets to the top of his swing, he lowers his chest, so he's using his abs, he's crunching his head down, and then right through here, he's throwing that club through. In my opinion, that's what he's doing. He's releasing it and throwing it through. Now you can see how much his head dropped, right? So if he's dropping his head this much, it's something has to give, right? So his spine is tilting. Now, if he has an extremely flexible spinal column and he's got good strength through his core and good mobility in his hips and knees, etc., he's going to be fine. And chances are he will be fine because he's been swinging this way probably since he was a little kid, right? And again, I don't know this. I don't know Joaquin and I don't know his coach. But this is the important takeaway for you, the viewer. When you're looking at all of this stuff, take away what you can that is both good for your swing and your body so that you don't create any injuries or stresses or strains. And then make sure that if you're doing it and you're able to do it with some repeatability, and if you're a competitive golfer, if you're able to do it in tournament pressure, then you know you're working on the right stuff. Otherwise, you're just trying to pick up the next quick fix thing, and you're just hoping that it's going to help you with your game. So if you like, some of this open and honest and authentic commentary that you're getting from this video, go check out all of my other videos, and what you'll see is how simple I make learning how to swing the golf club athletically and efficiently with power. And if you just like that honest, open integrity, if you like these kind of things, just stick around, watch more videos, see what you can learn. I've been doing this for a long time. I'm 47 years old. I've been playing golf, really pretty seriously for 40 years. So starting at age 7 is when I started taking a game seriously. But I can also do all other sports. I'm a good athlete. I understand biomechanics and I understand human motion. And what I also understand is how to be a competitor and how to do all of this stuff under pressure. And as a coach, I've learned to boil all of that down to very, very simple keys to help you, the student, get better. So hopefully you appreciate this video. Make sure you're subscribing, liking, ringing that bell, exactly what every other YouTuber says. Smash something if you want. And then just follow along and watch some more videos. Let me know how I can help you. I appreciate you watching this video. Thanks.